Kevin, thank you so much for joining us. How are you
Uh,
keeping? How's lockdown for you?
I'm doing well, to be honest. The first 2 weeks, my family was sick, so it was a little bit
Right.
like up and down. But now they're all healthy, so we don't know if we had it or not. But I think we're doing well now.
And you're feeling better. Have you managed to train and keep fit in this difficult time?
Well, the first 2 weeks was a little bit weird because I don't know what was going on, and then I managed to get a treadmill. I was swimming a little bit because I'm lucky to have a pool downstairs. I was doing a couple of lengths, but now mostly I'm doing a run. And then I would say every other day I would choose between swimming and doing some exercise. So I'm keeping fairly good for what we can do on our own, I guess.
Yeah. And how does that work, Kevin, as an example? The club giving you some information, they sending you through different things to do on the bike, or are they leaving it to your own devices?
No, they send us like a fairly big program. I think in the beginning of the lockdown, some of the gym physios, they went to the club and they made like videos of what we can do or different types of exercises. But there's a few things that I like to do. Obviously, it's more the running and the swimming exercise. I do a little bit in between. But I'm not one for sitting like an hour or 2 hours in a gym. I get bored of doing stuff on my own anyway. So then I prefer to do running where I keep busy for myself and listen to some podcasts and all that stuff.
Exactly. What about football? Obviously, we're missing watching you play football. How much are you missing playing it?
I miss it a lot because since I've been 5 years old, it's my whole life has been around football. And one way it's really nice to see my family, and I see my boys growing. And in these 4 weeks we've been in lockdown, the little one especially is doing so much more. And otherwise it would get somewhere in between, I guess. But now you see it like each day they're taking steps, so that's a good thing to see. But yeah, I would like to go back to what I love to do. But I think the main importance now is to keep everybody safe, I guess.
Absolutely. And what about, is he showing any touches? Has he got that eye, the ball through the eye of a needle and pinging it from
Uh,
25 years in the top, from 25 yards in the top corner?
to be honest, the little one is really good at football. He's
Is he?
only like 18 months, but he's running around playing football the whole day. And the oldest is just doesn't care about it. Like it's nice to see. It's totally different. One is creative and he's doing imaginary stuff, and you have to go into his stories. And the little one is just ball, ball, ball. I'm asking my parents if I was doing the same at that age because it's driving me insane.
Yeah, well, I'm sure. I mean, just talking about your early career, you obviously started at Genk. I remember the first time I watched you play, I was at Chelsea, and I think it was a Champions League game, and you played wide left on that occasion, and
Yeah.
you looked so natural playing. Was football always so natural to you? We've asked a lot of fans questions, and everyone said the same thing. Did you find football easy as a young man?
Well, I never looked at football like I need to do. Obviously, there's rules and everything, but I love to do football in the beginning because it's just the way it goes. For me, football, in between the strict rules you have of a team, tactics and all that stuff, and I think it's a lot of intuition. What you think on the field is trying to do that. Obviously, when you're a young player and they tell you, oh, you need to only pass with the inside and all that stuff. I think when I was younger, it was sometimes more difficult because I was already thinking at that time, I can do it outside maybe also. And, when you're a young boy, you don't listen to your coaches. They get maybe a little bit frustrated with you as a player. But at that time, even I was thinking, oh, I guess if I do it with the outside, it turns the other way around and it's going to be better in the long haul. But yeah, I don't know. I just tried to do it, and I guess it got better with just trying to do it.
Yeah, I mean, you seem to me like in a nice possible way. Whenever I've met you, an unassuming superstar. I met you a few weeks ago, and you were very kind to my kids and talking about football. When people now say that you are the best midfield player in the world, how does that make you feel?
Feels me proud. because obviously I think as a football player you have a long journey, and I think when you start you just want to be a football player. You don't say I want to be the best football player. It's impossible to think like I'm going to be one of the best in the world. And I think the main thing for me is winning. But when that goes on, and then you evolve as a player, you want to get higher, and then now we're at a level where we're playing really well, and I don't know.
When I watch you play, you seem to get as much enjoyment out of an assist as scoring a goal. What do you prefer?
Well, I can enjoy both, really. I think I get the same feeling sometimes at an assist, because sometimes I feel like the work you can do as a creative player, you help your attacking player make an easy goal. So sometimes the assist can be so good or creative that, I get the same feeling out of scoring a goal, if that makes sense, because it feels like you make it easier for the striker to score, and okay, they're there to be there, and they have to be at the right time and all that stuff, but I'm just the guy in front of that. So this is just my job, and I get enough satisfaction in doing that stuff.
Yeah, well, you make that look easy. We've got some questions from some fans, if that's all right, Kevin. Loads of questions came through. This one's from Phenom Victor. He said, "Is your current form at Man City the best of your career?"
I would say that probably it's difficult to comment on form, but I guess I'm the most complete player now. I think in every aspect of the game, I think I feel really comfortable now how I feel. When I think about maybe my time at Wolfsburg, where I did incredible well, but maybe I was just like, more up and down. I feel like, especially the last 3 seasons, maybe less last season, I'm happy because I'm playing at a constant level. From the first game against West Ham until my last game against Madrid, I think the whole season I've played really well, and that makes it satisfying to know I can be constantly good at a good enough level to perform.
And they said, I like this question. We have to get your brain thinking here, mate. Milo McDonald wants to know, what's your favourite assist in the Premier League that you've done?
If I think I have to choose between the one I did against Stoke for Leroy, or the one this year against Villa for Gabriel. I think it's almost a little bit similar. I think maybe the one for Gabriel, because I think I had to do it at full speed. It's probably almost similar pass where you have to bend it around the players, but I think at Villa I was more in a stride also, so that makes it really difficult.
And Kevin, what about the assist against Southampton, the one that got you to 100 points a while back?
Well, I think it's just that it's a nice assist, and but it's nothing special. I think the assist is just nice because what it meant, because the game was obviously not good, but it was the last second of the game. It's more like all or nothing at that time. In football, maybe a Hail Mary, and to get the 100 points at that moment in time was really special. So I think it's more about the passion of the game at that moment than the difficulty.
Who did you model your game on? That one comes from Joe Wrights.
I never modeled my game to any player. There's a lot of football players I admire who I like to see, but I wouldn't say like I wanted to be as a player. I think I like to be unique. I think I'm fairly unique in my playing style anyway. I think these days also to be a midfield player, you have to be complete. I think the game has evolved so much these days that you work so hard, and being an attacking midfielder or central midfielder doesn't mean like it's just about based on attack. Now these days you just have to do everything, whether you're playing a right back, even a keeper. It's just different.
Oh, this one could be a little bit embarrassing. Anyway, which 2 retired midfield players would you most like to have played with?
Um, um,
What about
if
I would like to see you Iniesta and Xavi. I think that would have been a decent midfield three.
yeah, but I would look more like to strikers. Maybe he's by my help coach at Belgium before, but maybe somebody like Thierry Henry,
Yeah.
somebody like even somebody like Cristiano. I think for me, like a creative player, he's gonna be there. So I need somebody who's quick, who can go deep. That helps me a lot. So I would look. You play with magnificent midfielders, but I think for strikers, for what I do, is probably the main importance. So I would say maybe Cristiano or Thierry Henry.
I think Cristiano would have liked that cross, that one when it gets set back to you and you just whip it in first time so the defence can't get set. Ronaldo would have enjoyed those crosses.
I can probably push it like 3 meters high, then you're still gonna get it anyway. So that's gonna make my assist even more going up.
Exactly. Well, listen, thank you so much for your time, Kevin. It's always a pleasure talking to you. And we all at Sky Sports can't wait to see you back playing, hopefully when this is over. But stay safe and love to the family.
Thank you. You too. Bye-bye.
Thanks, mate. Take care.